This video will demonstrate the axial section of the anatomy of the spinal cord to describe the internal structures. A general cross-section of a spinal cord would look something like this. Often it's a blurry area there. And what we can describe here is we have an anterior or ventral median fissure, and this is an important structure because this accommodates the anterior spinal artery. On the dorsal surface of the spinal cord, we only have a sulcus, the dorsal median sulcus. The dorsal median sulcus. In the dorsal surface, we have two arteries, the two posterior spinal arteries, here and here, while anteriorly we have one in the midline. These are important features, as when you look at the macroscopic anatomy of the spinal cord, you will be able to identify whether you can see the ventral or the dorsal surface of the cord. Thereby, you can identify which rootlets, the ventral or the dorsal rootlets of the spinal nerves, are visible for you. So further looking into the structures visible, we have the central canal here, central canal, which contains cerebrospinal fluid. The inner, close to butterfly-shaped structure is the gray matter. Of the spinal cord, and this is divided into dorsal horn, and ventral horns. The dorsal horns will contain the arriving fibers, the axons of the sensory nerves, as they arrive and bring the information to the central nervous system from the periphery, while the ventral horn will contain somatic motor nerve cell bodies. At some level of the spinal cord, we also have a third horn, the lateral horn. The lateral horn contains autonomic fibers and motor fibers, or motor nerve bodies as well. And these lateral horns are found in T1 to 12 plus L1, L2 levels, and at these levels the autonomic motor nerves are carrying sympathetic output. Another area of the spinal cord where lateral horn is present are at the S2 to S4 levels, and those autonomic nerves are parasympathetic nerves. So sympathetic and S2 to S4 are parasympathetic. Now let's look at the outside structure, and that's the white matter. I removed the labels for the gray matter to reduce confusion. The white matter is also divided into different parts, but they are now called funiculus. Funiculus is like the cable car, so you can think about cables, and they are indeed full of axons which are bundled together into tracts, and due to the majority of being myelinated, they have the appearance of a white color. We have dorsal funiculus, lateral funiculus, and anterior funiculus. We also should mention that there are many of the fibers which arrive into the spinal cord are actually crossing over from one side to the other. They are commissural fibers, as we learned in our terminology video. These commissural fibers are passing through in these areas. So this area is the ventral white commissure. We also have nearby here in this area is the ventral gray commissure. These are mainly for interneurons crossing from one side to the other.